All right, guys, we are going to be reacting to Chi Intimacy Regret, divorcing her husband of 20 years. Let's jump in.
Girl, I only spent about 6 Christmases with both my parents. That part kind of sucks.
Welcome back, family. Today we will expose what it really means when a woman says, "I married the nice guy," or "You are a nice person," or again, "He was too nice for me." We will review multiple clips of this woman who decided to divorce her husband because he was a nice person. We will see why marrying a modern woman without the complete understanding of the contemporary dynamics between the sexes is close to giving yourself a death sentence. Let's first start by watching this outrageous clip where she admits wanting to divorce her nice husband.
I married the nice guy, the guy who made me laugh. I married the guy who was stable, who didn't yell. I married the guy who wasn't afraid to get down on the floor and play with kids. I married the guy who laughed really loudly, who didn't seem to care if anybody was watching. I married the guy who was soft with me, who listened to me on the phone for hours. I married the nice guy. I married the nice guy when I was 23 years old. I
Okay.
married the guy who'd come from a family who felt like life is hard, we're not going to make it easy on you. And what's funny is he married the nice girl, the girl who did everything to please somebody else, who molded herself to be the epitome of what other people wanted me to be. He married the girl that said, yes, let me show up and do more.
Okay.
He married the girl who said, I have absolutely no needs. None. Why would I have needs when I can show up and take care of you? He married the girl who said, I am low maintenance. Just like one of the guys. I'll sit and watch sports with you for hours. You need to watch a rom-com? No, I'm good. It's okay. We'll do this. We'll do what you want to do. 20 years later, after realization after realization, after year, realizing this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what I thought marriage was going to be. The struggles that we've had aren't getting any better. They just seem to be replicating themselves and getting worse. I started looking around at my kids and seeing children who needed more from their parents.
Okay.
I married the nice guy, and he married the good girl.
Okay.
And 20 years later,
Okay.
we
All
are
right.
5 months separated, working through some of the hardest parts of marriage. Because it would be easy for me to say, I'm done. We're calling it quits. There's been too much hurt. There's been too much pain. There's been too many conversations that have ended in, yes, I will do this. Yes, I want that. And very little action to show for it. After 3 years of growth for myself.
Grow meaning I've watched a lot of TikTok videos and I think I'm better than my husband. That's what it means, guys. That's what it means. She thinks that because she spent time in TikTok and social media, and all of a sudden, let's say she lost 10 pounds, she read some quotes, she felt a certain way. Now she thinks she's in a better position than her husband. Therefore, I'm better than you. I deserve better. That's what it is.
The biggest takeaway I can give you now is work on you. There is nothing more important than relearning the safety skills that we needed to learn to show up better in a partnership. Because while we were raised by generation after generation that said, life is hard, I'm not going to make it easier on you, that's exactly what we needed. We needed the softness. We needed the care for ourselves. We needed the tools that said, this is how you show up for you first. Because the partnership, a marriage, is not where one person dissolves into the other.
No.
It's when two whole people show up and say, I want you to be my anchor through the storm that life will give us. Because life's never going to get easier.
Oh, really?
But the person you pair up with, the person you partner with for life, should make it easier. But when we go into marriage with tools that were broken, that were only really there to protect ourselves from more harm, all we did was learn how to have partnerships that erased your identity, that allowed no space for the two of you to grow together. It left only room for ego. A different marriage means that you need to show up differently for yourself first.
Oh, that's what it means.
Let me translate everything this woman said in womanese.
So basically, she was saying, I'm just ready to just go back to the streets. That's what it means, guys. There's a lot of pseudo babble here, pseudo feminism. You see how the way she's talking is very blurry. You cannot pinpoint to something. That's actually done to confuse you and not allow you to just go through not to cut through the BS. But in reality, what she's saying is nothing. She's saying that in other ways, I tried my best. I did whatever I could. It's not my fault. That's what she's saying, guys.
Now that she is getting bored of her husband and justify her wanting to go back to these streets. Now, this next clip is very funny.
Let's see.
I want you to observe how this woman will try to paint a woman's desire of wanting to go back to the street as a positive self-discovering process. Let's watch.
Most of the time when I talk to my clients, they're still in the beginning phases of detaching from the person that they have unhealthily attached themselves to.
I will never receive advice for somebody like this, guys. I would never receive advice for somebody like her. She doesn't look okay. Look at the way she's dressing for a TikTok, but she's giving a professional advice. Am I crazy?
The positive self-discovery process. Let's watch.
Most of the time when I talk to my clients,
I'm talking to my clients for look at the way I'm just dressing just to do a TikTok. No way, guys.
They're still in the beginning phases of detaching from the person that they have.
Meaning I'm just giving advice to other women to just do the same thing that I just did.
Unhealthily attach themselves to. It's mostly women.
What did I tell you guys?
There are a good majority of men that do the same thing.
No, they don't. What did I tell you guys?
That kind of lose themselves in the relationship. But this is mainly, and I'm going to generalize this, mainly a female thing. We tend to lose ourselves because we didn't know who we were in the first place. In the beginning stages of detaching, you are essentially ripping out all of these hand-sewed strings that we attach to ourselves. Okay. And we are ripping them apart.
Oh, that's what it is.
Sometimes we notice them and we're able to kind of like unwind the threads and it doesn't hurt as much.
Okay.
But every step of the way, we are ripping off of these threads that we've attached ourselves to the other person. And it really hurts. And then what we're left with is gaping wounds.
Ooh.
Right? The death of 1,000 cuts.
Oh, that's what it is.
We're healing all of these little tiny things that we've attached ourselves to. We've attached so much of our own meaning to. That once we detach, or once we even begin the process of detaching, we're like, hold on.
Oh.
What do I do now? What happens next? And this is my favorite part, because I remember deeply hearing this from somebody else, hearing this from my own mentor. Of like, now becomes the exciting part. You get to...
Mentor, meaning the somebody that already went through the same process and manipulate me to do the same thing that this person was doing, and I end up like her. That's what she's saying.
Figure out who you are. And as much as like I can look at that now and see the excitement in it, I remember dreading it at the time. Because I thought, I don't know who I am. That sounds really daunting. You're asking me to like discover who I am at 40 years old? Like what? How am I supposed to do that? I have 4 children. Like, I have a lot of responsibilities.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't have the time or the effort or the energy to figure out who I am. I remember feeling so just distraught by this idea.
Distraught.
But isn't that the most exciting thing? Because you get to reinvent yourself.
Oh my God.
Not become a different person, but really figure out what you like and what you don't like.
Oh.
Self-discovery can be scary because I equate it to the Indiana Jones movie when he's in the temple and there's just like nothing in between him and the other side. And he's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm supposed to just like trust. And he throws out a little bit of sand and you see the shadow of something there. But you still have no idea. And it looks like a dead drop. Like, you know, if you're going to take that first step, likelihood of you dying seems really high. But then you finally take that first step. You realize it's going to hold. You can actually take a step. And we just take little tiny steps next. Little tiny steps next.
What?
We focus our intention on ourselves, which is very painful. Why? Because we've been doing for other people, and it feels incredibly selfish to shift our focus to ourselves. But it's the most important thing that you can do. It doesn't change the fact that you can still be a compassionate, loving person. But what changes is, in the morning when you wake up, you make sure that you're right. You make sure that you're doing your routine, the way that makes you feel good in the morning. So that when you step out of that door, you're not dreading the life ahead of you. You're excited for the next moment. You don't find that until you learn to discover who you are. Okay. There is magic in that. But there's also pain and the revealing that you spent so much time giving and giving and giving to others at the expense of yourself. Discovering who you are seems daunting because there's so much open to you. But it's also the biggest gift that you can give yourself because there's so much open to you now. To learn who you are outside of what you've attached yourself to. You've got this.
You got this.
To the street she belongs.
Yo, this is basically some psychobabble stuff, man. This makes no sense. This is just her trying to convince herself and make it. So what I noticed about feminists, right, and females in particular, is that when they make a bad decision or they're making bad decisions, they need to bring other women down with them. That's their way of feeling in their mind, hey, I'm not wrong because a lot of people are doing it as well. So therefore, in my mind, I can convince myself that certain decisions, if other people are doing it, I'm not in the wrong. I'm not alone in this world. So I might be doing something right. That's why she's doing all this client stuff. And you will see this in TikTok a lot. You will see this in TikTok a lot, where these people basically, even after they go through a divorce, they become consultants. And somehow they make money as a consultant, advising other women to just get divorced. Insane.
Wanting her same time. Watch.
This right here is actually what kept me in this cycle for so long. Because I could see that with alcohol, he could match that energy a little bit. He could reach into his heart. He was a little bit more flirtatious. He would show up for me. Typically you drink 1 through like 4, and then after drink 4 it would turn into chaos, and like I didn't like that person. But I thought, if the drinking can stop, he can do the work and like get to a place where that person that he was in between drinking 1 and 4, that he allowed himself to be, that the alcohol gave him the freedom to do, he would like be able to move into that and like learn that and like be more of that person through the work that went into things after the addiction stopped. But really, I feel like I've lost more of him when the addiction stopped, because that piece of him, he almost just like let go, just like with the drinking. Like, I'm not drinking anymore, so I can't be that person anymore. And like, I think that is what breaks my heart the most. And you're right, like they live predominantly in their head. The alcohol at least gave them some freedom to be able to touch that heart a little bit, that emotional side, the care, the love, just like opening up. And then the addiction stopped and the real work begins. And I don't think a lot of people really can come back to like really open their heart again. Maybe the addiction was too long. Maybe the trauma was too bad. But I've always saw potential in everyone. I've always thought everyone has the potential to change. But I do think maybe some people are just not capable of doing this work to reach that place in them. I don't know. It just makes me sad.
They want to be well taken care of, but also have the freedom to do as
they do whatever the hell they want. That's what it is.
No wife responsibilities.
I made it through Christmas. The moment that my husband and I separated, this was the day that I was dreading the most. Because as a little girl, I only spent about 6 Christmases with both my parents. And I desperately wanted that to happen. I wanted my parents to even like each other enough for that to happen, but I desperately wanted for my children and for the rest of like my adult life as a mom, for my children to experience that, for me to experience that. A lot of what went into that fear of that experience was reliving the moments all over again. But I made it through the day because I realized one really important fact. We control the narrative. Hassan came over at 7 and we spent all day together with the kids, enjoying the entire day of Christmas. My kids enjoyed the exact same experience, if not better, this Christmas than they probably ever had.
Yeah. Wow, of course, bro. Of course, yeah, of course you have to say that. Of course you have to say that because it doesn't make sense, guys. Yeah, your kids are going through a divorce and somehow this Christmas is going to be better. You think about that, guys. My father's not around, but this Christmas is much better than the last, I don't know how many Christmas. Come on.
The past. And maybe they don't notice it.
Oh, they don't notice it.
At the end of the day.
So it's not even about the kids, guys. It's not even the kids. Maybe they didn't notice it. So for her, what's a better Christmas, quote unquote?
And maybe they don't notice it. But at the end of the day, my husband and I were texting from different places, different living spaces, miles from each other. And I said, I think that was my best Christmas ever. We control how we choose to move through this. The fear that we experience is based on our own perception of how we're going to feel, how we felt, how our kids are going to feel. But we control the narrative. And this year was my favorite Christmas ever. I was dreading this week. Tomorrow is our 19th anniversary, and honestly, what's the biggest revelation out of all of this is that as I have stepped back from the things that I did in the relationship, how very little communication there is. That part kind of sucks. I don't know how to navigate this besides just taking it day by day and understanding like what is mine to hold right now and what is not mine to hold, which just sounds easy, but it's not. But our anniversary is tomorrow and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed emotionally, so I might be a little bit more quiet this week. I don't know how to talk about this.
Today was more of an informative episode than entertaining. These modern women will fabricate just about any.
They will make anything. They will make anything to just convince themselves that what they're doing is the right thing. But they're not, man. This is gonna get worse before it gets better, guys. It's gonna get worse, and the way it's gonna get worse, and we have to be prepared for this. There's gonna be a time where the economy is gonna get rid of a lot of these positions that a lot of females have to make money. AI is gonna take care of a lot of this stuff. So when that time happens, you guys have to be in the best position. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one.